Improper disposal of used lamps is a significant concern due to its environmental impact and potential health risks. Fluorescent lamps contain mercury, a toxic metal that can contaminate groundwater and harm wildlife. When these lamps are disposed of in landfills, mercury can leach into the soil and water, leading to long-term environmental damage. This process, known as leaching, occurs when rainwater or other liquids percolate through the landfill, dissolving mercury and carrying it into the surrounding environment. Additionally, mercury can be released into the air through volatilization, which is the process of a liquid transforming into a gas. This poses a threat to air quality and can contribute to mercury deposition in nearby ecosystems. Improper recycling practices can also release mercury into the atmosphere, further exacerbating the environmental problem. Mercury exposure poses several health risks to humans, particularly neurological and kidney damage. Children are especially vulnerable, as mercury exposure can lead to developmental problems. Inhaling mercury vapor from broken fluorescent bulbs can also pose immediate health risks, making proper handling and disposal crucial. Many countries and states have implemented regulations prohibiting the disposal of lamps in landfills. Businesses that fail to comply with these regulations can face fines and legal liability for improper disposal practices. This underscores the importance of adhering to environmental regulations and implementing responsible waste management strategies. Electricians play a vital role in ensuring the proper disposal of used lamps. Firstly, they can raise awareness among customers about the environmental and health risks associated with improper lamp disposal. Secondly, electricians can partner with local recycling facilities to provide customers with a convenient and responsible way to dispose of used lamps. Thirdly, it is essential for electricians to ensure that all lamp disposal practices comply with relevant laws and regulations. This includes staying informed about current regulations and implementing best practices for handling and recycling lamps. Manufacturers can contribute by designing lamps for easy recycling and reducing mercury content. This can simplify the recycling process and minimize the potential for mercury release into the environment. Consumers can support proper lamp disposal by making a conscious effort to recycle used lamps instead of discarding them. This simple action can significantly reduce the amount of mercury entering landfills and protect the environment. Waste management companies can develop and implement responsible recycling programs for lamps, including the collection, processing, and recycling of used lamps to minimize environmental impacts. Several actions can be taken to address the issue of improper lamp disposal. Firstly, it is crucial to educate electricians and customers about the environmental and health risks associated with improper lamp disposal. Secondly, implementing lamp recycling programs in businesses and communities can provide convenient and accessible options for responsible disposal. Thirdly, advocating for stricter regulations to prevent improper disposal can help to ensure compliance and accountability. Lastly, holding businesses accountable for responsible lamp disposal practices can incentivize proper waste management and reduce environmental harm. The Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) has a lamp recycling program that provides guidance and resources for responsible lamp disposal. The International Lighting Association also offers information on lamp recycling practices and technologies. The National Electrical Manufacturers Association (NEMA) provides resources on lamp disposal and recycling for manufacturers, businesses, and consumers. By implementing these strategies and utilizing available resources, we can work together to minimize the environmental and health risks associated with improper lamp disposal and promote a more sustainable future. It is important to understand the properties of fluorescent lamps and the dangers associated with mercury. Mercury is a neurotoxin that can accumulate in the environment and the food chain. When fluorescent lamps break, they release mercury vapor, which can be inhaled and absorbed into the body. The amount of mercury in a single fluorescent lamp is relatively small, but the cumulative effect of many lamps being improperly disposed of can be significant. Regulations regarding lamp disposal vary depending on the location. Some jurisdictions have banned the disposal of fluorescent lamps in landfills, while others require them to be recycled. It is important to be aware of the regulations in specific areas and to comply with them. Electricians can play a key role in educating their customers about the proper way to dispose of fluorescent lamps. They can also offer recycling services as part of their business. By doing so, they can help to protect the environment and human health. There are several different ways to recycle fluorescent lamps. One common method is to crush the lamps and separate the different materials. The mercury is then distilled and can be reused. The glass and other materials can also be recycled. Another method is to send the lamps to a specialized recycling facility. These facilities have the equipment and expertise to safely recycle fluorescent lamps and recover the mercury. When handling fluorescent lamps, it is important to take precautions to avoid breaking them. If a lamp does break, it is important to ventilate the area and clean up the broken glass carefully. Avoid using a vacuum cleaner, as this can spread the mercury vapor. Instead, use a damp cloth to wipe up the broken glass and place it in a sealed container. Electricians can also encourage manufacturers to design lamps that are easier to recycle and contain less mercury. This can help to reduce the environmental impact of fluorescent lamps. Consumers can also play a role in promoting responsible lamp disposal. They can choose to purchase lamps that are more energy efficient and contain less mercury. They can also make sure to recycle their used lamps properly. By working together, we can all help to reduce the environmental and health risks associated with fluorescent lamps. The improper disposal of fluorescent lamps can lead to mercury contamination of soil and water. Mercury is a persistent pollutant that can accumulate in the food chain. Exposure to mercury can cause neurological damage, kidney damage, and developmental problems. Regulations regarding lamp disposal are in place to protect the environment and human health. Electricians have a responsibility to comply with these regulations and to educate their customers about the proper way to dispose of fluorescent lamps. Recycling fluorescent lamps is the best way to protect the environment and human health. There are several different ways to recycle fluorescent lamps. It is important to choose a recycling method that is safe and effective. When handling fluorescent lamps, it is important to take precautions to avoid breaking them. If a lamp does break, it is important to ventilate the area and clean up the broken glass carefully. Electricians can also encourage manufacturers to design lamps that are easier to recycle and contain less mercury. Consumers can also play a role in promoting responsible lamp disposal. The EPA provides information on lamp recycling programs and best practices for lamp disposal. The International Lighting Association provides information on lamp recycling technologies and regulations. The National Electrical Manufacturers Association provides information on lamp disposal and recycling for manufacturers, businesses, and consumers. By taking these steps, we can all help to reduce the environmental and health risks associated with fluorescent lamps and promote a more sustainable future. Consider the life cycle of a fluorescent lamp. It begins with the extraction of raw materials, including mercury. The lamp is then manufactured and shipped to its destination. During its use, the lamp consumes electricity and emits light. At the end of its life, the lamp must be disposed of properly. Each stage of the life cycle has environmental impacts. The extraction of raw materials can disrupt ecosystems and pollute water sources. The manufacturing process can release greenhouse gases and other pollutants. The use of electricity can contribute to air pollution and climate change. The improper disposal of lamps can lead to mercury contamination. By considering the life cycle of a fluorescent lamp, we can better understand its environmental impacts and identify ways to reduce them. There are several alternatives to fluorescent lamps that are more energy efficient and contain less mercury. LED lamps are a popular choice. They use less energy than fluorescent lamps and have a longer lifespan. They also do not contain mercury. Another alternative is compact fluorescent lamps, CFLs. CFL use less energy than incandescent lamps and have a longer lifespan. They do contain mercury, but the amount is much less than in fluorescent lamps. When choosing a lamp, it is important to consider its energy efficiency, lifespan, and mercury content. It is also important to make sure that the lamp is compatible with existing fixtures. By choosing energy-efficient lamps and disposing of them properly, we can reduce our impact on the environment. The National Electrical Code (NEC) addresses the safe installation and use of electrical equipment. It also addresses the proper disposal of electrical equipment, including fluorescent lamps. Article 410(130)(g) of the NEC requires that fluorescent lamps be disposed of in accordance with applicable regulations. This means that electricians must be familiar with the regulations in their jurisdiction and must dispose of fluorescent lamps properly. The NEC also requires that electricians be trained in the safe handling and disposal of fluorescent lamps. This training should include information on the hazards of mercury, the proper way to handle and dispose of lamps, and the applicable regulations. By following the NEC and receiving proper training, electricians can help to ensure the safe and responsible disposal of fluorescent lamps. Remember that the cost of recycling fluorescent lamps is often less than the cost of improper disposal. Improper disposal can lead to fines and legal liability. It can also damage a company's reputation. By recycling fluorescent lamps, businesses can protect the environment, comply with regulations, and maintain a positive image. There are many resources available to help businesses recycle fluorescent lamps. The EPA provides information on lamp recycling programs and best practices for lamp disposal. The International Lighting Association provides information on lamp recycling technologies and regulations. The National Electrical Manufacturers Association provides information on lamp disposal and recycling for manufacturers, businesses, and consumers. By utilizing these resources, businesses can easily implement a lamp recycling program and contribute to a more sustainable future. Mercury is a naturally occurring element that is found in air, water, and soil. It is used in a variety of products, including fluorescent lamps, batteries, and thermometers. Mercury is a neurotoxin that can damage the brain, kidneys, and other organs. Exposure to mercury can occur through inhalation, ingestion, or skin contact. Children and pregnant women are especially vulnerable to the effects of mercury exposure. The EPA has established regulations to limit mercury emissions from industrial sources and to reduce mercury levels in consumer products. These regulations have helped to reduce mercury exposure in the United States. However, mercury pollution remains a global problem. Mercury can travel long distances in the atmosphere and can contaminate ecosystems far from its source. International cooperation is needed to address the problem of mercury pollution. The Minamata Convention on Mercury is an international treaty that aims to protect human health and the environment from the adverse effects of mercury. The treaty was adopted in 2013 and has been signed by over 140 countries. The Minamata Convention includes provisions to reduce mercury emissions from industrial sources, to phase out mercury use in certain products, and to promote the safe storage and disposal of mercury waste. The treaty also includes provisions to provide financial and technical assistance to developing countries to help them implement the treaty. By working together to implement the Minamata Convention, we can reduce mercury pollution and protect human health and the environment. Consider the economic benefits of lamp recycling. Recycling lamps can create jobs in the recycling industry. It can also reduce the cost of waste disposal. Furthermore, it could help to conserve natural resources. By recycling lamps, we can create a more sustainable economy. The environmental benefits of lamp recycling are significant. Recycling lamps can reduce mercury pollution, conserve natural resources, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. By recycling lamps, we can protect the environment for future generations. The social benefits of lamp recycling are also important. Recycling lamps can create jobs, improve public health, and promote environmental awareness. By recycling lamps, we can create a more just and equitable society. Lamp recycling is a win-win-win situation. It is good for the economy, the environment, and society. Let's all do our part to recycle lamps and create a more sustainable future. Electricians should be aware of the different types of fluorescent lamps. There are several different types of fluorescent lamps, including linear fluorescent lamps, compact fluorescent lamps, and U-bend fluorescent lamps. Each type of lamp has its own unique characteristics and applications. Linear fluorescent lamps are the most common type of fluorescent lamp. They are typically used in offices, schools, and other commercial buildings. Compact fluorescent lamps, CFLs, are smaller than linear fluorescent lamps and are typically used in homes and apartments. U-bend fluorescent lamps are bent into a U shape and are typically used in recessed lighting fixtures. Electricians should be familiar with the different types of fluorescent lamps so that they can properly install and maintain them. Electricians should also be aware of the different types of ballasts used in fluorescent lighting systems. A ballast is a device that regulates the current flowing through a fluorescent lamp. There are several different types of ballasts, including magnetic ballasts and electronic ballasts. Magnetic ballasts are older and less efficient than electronic ballasts. Electronic ballasts are more efficient and provide better light quality. Electricians should be familiar with the different types of ballasts so that they can properly install and maintain them. Electricians should also be aware of the different types of sockets used in fluorescent lighting systems. A socket is a device that holds a fluorescent lamp in place. There are several different types of sockets, including pin sockets and twist lock sockets. Pin sockets are the most common type of socket. Twist lock sockets are used in some types of recessed lighting fixtures. Electricians should be familiar with the different types of sockets so that they can properly install and maintain them. Electricians should also be aware of the different types of wiring used in fluorescent lighting systems. The wiring in a fluorescent lighting system must be properly sized and installed to ensure safe and reliable operation. Electricians should be familiar with the different types of wiring and the proper methods for installing them. Electricians should also be aware of the different safety precautions that must be taken when working on fluorescent lighting systems. Fluorescent lighting systems contain high voltage and can be dangerous. Electricians should always disconnect the power before working on a fluorescent lighting system. They should also wear appropriate safety gear, such as gloves and safety glasses. By following these safety precautions, electricians can protect themselves from injury. In the context of electrician responsibilities regarding used lamp disposal, consider these additional points. First, proper documentation is key. Maintain records of lamp disposal, including dates, quantities, and recycling facility information. This documentation can be crucial for demonstrating compliance with regulations. Second, consider offering lamp replacement services. As electricians replace old lamps with new ones, they can offer to take the old lamps for proper disposal. This provides a convenient service for customers and ensures that the lamps are recycled responsibly. Third, stay updated on best practices. Lamp recycling technologies and regulations are constantly evolving. Electricians should stay informed about the latest developments in order to provide the best possible service to their customers. Fourth, partner with reputable recycling facilities. Not all recycling facilities are created equal. Electricians should carefully vet their recycling partners to ensure that they are using environmentally sound practices. Fifth, educate employees. All employees who handle fluorescent lamps should be trained in the proper handling and disposal procedures. This will help to minimize the risk of accidents and ensure that lamps are recycled properly. Sixth, promote the benefits of LED lighting. LED lamps are more energy efficient, have a longer lifespan, and do not contain mercury. Electricians can promote the benefits of LED lighting to their customers and encourage them to switch to LED lamps. Seventh, advocate for stronger regulations. Electricians can advocate for stronger regulations regarding lamp disposal. This can help to ensure that all businesses and individuals are properly disposing of their used lamps. Eighth, support lamp recycling programs. Electricians can support lamp recycling programs in their communities. This can help to make it easier for people to recycle their used lamps. Ninth, lead by example. Electricians should make sure that they are properly disposing of their unused lamps. This will set a good example for others and show that they are committed to protecting the environment. 10th, collaborate with other stakeholders. Electricians can collaborate with other stakeholders, such as manufacturers, retailers, and waste management companies to promote responsible lamp disposal. By working together, we can all help to reduce the environmental and health risks associated with fluorescent lamps.